Well, good evening, Truck and Tractor Pool fans. We got a quick little recap show here for you from an outstanding show Saturday night at Laurelton, Pennsylvania at the Union County West End Fairgrounds. Huge show, one of the biggest outdoor events I've been to in quite a while, with over 107 hooks, or entries, excuse me. It's actually more hooks than that, but we do have Matt Hauck with us tonight instead of Joey Radel, and he'll give us a rundown of how the event went and their feelings and thoughts and everything on that. But before we get started, we'd just like to take this time to ask you guys to please subscribe, ring the bell for notifications, share the page. We want to continue to grow it, and thumbs up, man. Give us a like for sure. That goes a long way on YouTube. So Matt Hauck, this is your first time on. Give us a little history on the Hauck family of pulling with the Old Red.
Well, thanks for having me, Jerry.
Absolutely.
As far as Old Red, I mean, that goes all the way back to 1979. My dad bought that tractor when he was a senior in high school and started pulling it here locally in some pace classes. And then in 1985, he made it strictly a pulling tractor. Him and would be my uncle and his brother, Rick, who runs Little Stinker. Ran it through the 90s. They ran with PTPA, and then 2000 we started a hot stock class and started running there some, and then was around 2007 2008 I got the first get on the seat of it, and then probably about 2012 I kind of took it to a whole nother level and started spending some money on it, and that's when we put the 8-pump on and did a couple other things and started running hot stock class. And then a couple years later, I think in 2016, I decided to switch it over to Pro Farm Interstate and still run our Snyder County hot stock. And then 2018, we did a complete remakeover of it, painted it and everything, and pretty much is what it is today.
Okay, yeah, wow. Yeah, that's great. You've been pulling for quite a while then. And I also often question on your uncle's tractor, the Little Stinker. And I noticed I assume will be your cousin, Caitlin, also runs Little Stinker too, correct?
Yeah. Rick bought that off of, it would be his neighbor, Michael Oryx, originally built that tractor in the early 90s, and he painted it and named it Little Stinker, and then he sold it to Rick in the early 2000s. And Rick originally ran it in the hot stock class, and then Vern Zerby started coming around, and they got it changed over to a mod turbo, what it is today. And then the one Caitlin runs, that actually started out as Vern's very first tractor that he ran.
Okay.
And as he got his whole slew of tractors, he kind of told Rick to do the wrenching and the running on it, and now it is what it is, and Caitlin runs it, and she's doing a pretty good job at running it.
Yeah, awesome. Yeah, definitely a slew of tractors for sure. Vern loves pulling, that's for sure.
Yeah, Vern helps us out. I mean, he came to us when he wanted to start pulling, and now we kind of go to him for our information, and he helps us out a lot. I mean, anytime we need anything, he's there for extra parts or knowledge or anything.
That's awesome. That's a good guy to have on your side for sure.
Yeah.
Absolutely. But so we survived Saturday night. What a show, man.
Yeah, I mean, I couldn't believe the amount of equipment that was there. I knew it was going to be big, but I wasn't exactly sure what all was coming.
Yeah, I was pretty impressed. I hung out in the pits there for quite a while. The radio reactor crew had what they thought might have been a clutch or flywheel problem. I haven't talked to them to know if they've gotten an issue that they had Friday night straightened out or not. But and I just paid attention. I kept looking up towards the far end of the pits, and like, man, they just kept rolling in and rolling in. You look out on the road, and they're coming in and coming. It's like, this is going to be a huge show, and I was just getting thrilled. definitely something we've needed for a long time. It was a nice big show and great facility to have it at too. Track was really good, and I didn't hear any complaints. I mean, it was an 8-hour show, but it was a lot of hooks, one sled.
Yeah.
But by the way, I must say, was pretty much near flawless.
Yeah.
Kraus and terrible with names. Terrible with
Clint was running
Clint, that's his name. Sorry, Clint. Yeah, absolute fantastic job that night.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah, I know. I got there. I think it was a little after 3:30, and I pulled in the driveway, and I had to pretty much pull right in and park because there was no other room there. And it's like, man, oh man.
Yeah.
And it was a good show. I mean, like you say, Clint had good sled settings all night long. West End's tracks, I would say, one of the best tracks in Pennsylvania.
I have to agree that the amount I've been there probably a handful of times now, and it's been pretty dang good every time I've been there. So no complaints.
I know the
here.
starting line was getting a little beat up till the end of the night, but with 100 hooks, I mean, you can't really.
Yeah, it's a lot of hooks. Yeah, I thought it went well
at the end.
Sure, absolutely. Yeah, man, and it was really good. I mean, we'll run down the classes here. What stuck out in my head was guys from Vermont. You had 2 national caliber super farms, including Scott Chris from New York. I mean, every tractor there ran great, pretty much. And but to see those guys come in there and they proved it. Scoob and Jason, they finished 1-2 in the last class in the light pro super farm. So they laid down 2 monster runs, man. And Scott Chris was right there with them. So yeah, it was really good to see some guys. I haven't seen them in probably since Keystone a couple 3 years ago, I guess now or something. But always strong runners when they show up.
Jason and them were down to our October pool 2 years ago. So Joey kind of has the hookups talking to them, and hoping we can see him a little more this year. I'm not sure what things are like up in Vermont.
Anything north of Pennsylvania is very sketchy, from what I gather. So, I mean, we're fortunate to get the pool when we get the pool, and it's no better down here in Maryland. We've had one pool, and we've got a couple still scheduled, which we'll talk with Terry Tanner here shortly about that. By the way, Terry's with us too. He's just being quiet right now, but I'm not sure. I was supposed to have my cohort, Tanner Snellbaker, turned 21 yesterday. I've sent him messages, and I've not heard back from him, so I don't know if he's nursing a heavy head or whatever, but we wish him a happy birthday anyway. And but let's get on with the show. What stuck out in your mind pretty much, Matt, that you thought made the show above perfect, so to speak?
Well, the comment on the light pro super farm class, I was really impressed with the super farms, how they, I mean, I think the top 3 were super farms, and then you had a couple light pros, and it just shows that class, I think the light pros had a little trouble figuring out the track, but it shows how competitive that class can be.
Yeah, actually, 3rd place was a light pro, Steve Beckley, but
okay.
But I mean, that's what I noticed as well. It's a good point. It was definitely a super farm night for sure.
Yeah, and then the open class also stuck out. I mean, we had quite the variety of mods, and I mean, you had Henry there, and then you had Hoyts, and just I thought the mods were going to kind of walk away with it, but then Dave Everman came out there and laid down one heck of a pass.
Yeah, that's probably, Dave's got a great tractor, and I've seen him a few times. That's probably the best run I have personally seen him run outside. I guess actually Bloomsburg when he went 399 feet one night. But yeah, he definitely had a good run Saturday night to take the win for sure.
Yeah, and then our hot stock class, I mean, we had guys in there from Vermont, and Adam House was up with 3, actually finishing 2nd with one of them.
Yep.
And just a good variety in there. And I think a lot of us are really happy for Lucas. I mean, he snuck in there in the top 5, and just, I know how much work Lucas and Dennis and DJ and them put into that event, and then for him to come out there and make a great pass like that, it was pretty cool.
Yeah, he took the lead after his run. He, you
Yeah, I know,
know,
because he pulled ahead of me. But
you're right. I was going to say you did help. You held the lead for several tractors, actually.
yeah, I mean, but to finish 7th out of 22, I'll take that any night.
Absolutely, absolutely. But yeah, Lucas, he took his helmet off, just calm, cool. He wasn't, And I guess I wanted to say, was it his dad or somebody who was on the track had come up there around the front of his tractor, just bring this up real quick. And he was, hooping, "Hey, you're number one." You say you're number one. And I remember him saying, Pap, there's plenty more to go yet, or something like that. It was comical. But
Yeah.
that's just Lucas, that I know of. He's just cool, calm. He's not really an emotional, like, excited, he's going to jump up and down in first place and everything. But, yeah, it was great. It was great to see him have a good run, especially at home. So.
And then I know they had two 3.0 trucks from Ohio that were pretty impressive.
Yeah.
So I know they were parked beside me, and me and Joey were back there and gave them some cards, and it sounded like they were interested in coming hopefully next Saturday.
Awesome.
So
maybe they'll bring some friends too.
Yeah, I'm hoping. I mean, I think the trucks will be rolling in there next Saturday, because it sounds like there's not much for them to pull next Saturday. But I'm not an expert on truck pulling, so I don't know if I'll get into that too much.
Be careful. They make a show town. Just kidding. But, yeah, that's how about the open run what you brung?
Oh yeah, I was Joey did I think when the Hauck class, he did a little live feed, and he asked if I would watch it, and I was filming when Norm came down through, and it's like, man, and then Terry said, let the sled set and let him run, and
yeah,
I don't think he could have. I don't think they should have changed the sled, because then when Barter came down, he came a hauling down, and I know I stepped to the side of the live feed. But,
yeah, him and John Mans and Norm Newswanger, and I'm not going to take away from the other trucks. I mean, they were clearly outpowered.
Yeah.
By those three guys, but those three guys was like boom, 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 first three hooks of the class, and of course.
Yeah, they know how to put on a show.
Sure. James Barter was the third of those three trucks to hook, and just moved enough dirt on the pile to win. Man, what an awesome!
Yeah.
That was really great. That was probably my one thing that stuck out the whole night. I think, as far as
Well, anytime someone can hit the sand with their vehicle, that's a mark on the night.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. I wish we could have got some more up there, but we might have actually done it one time, but we won't discuss that. There was a sled change in one of the classes that probably could have stayed, and I will fess up and be guilty as being one of the ones flapping my chops to say something about it, and I should have just stayed quiet and let it run, but it wasn't my call.
Yeah.
But I was clearly wrong, Lee Beamit, and I apologize, but your tractor really runs good, okay? And that's something we'll definitely remember in the future. So, yeah, that was my fault. So, but I guess I've got the scrollers up. I don't know if you guys are watching or not, you or Terry, but I have the top three in each class scrolling up now on the screen for people to see, and I don't have enough room on the screen space to type everybody. I mean, it's 107 finishers, but it's everybody really. I mean, there was a couple of people who had some misfortune. I don't think there was really, that I can think of, any major breakage, but everybody really made decent runs. Unfortunately I think Lynn Brookhart was probably one of the scariest. Started the one wheel, and what actually happened with his tractor is, on the last bounce, it actually shut the power switch off on the side of the tractor. I actually think that thing may have settled out and got a few more feet out of it, but it did shut itself off on that second bounce. So, unfortunately, maybe not unfortunately, I don't know where he would have ended up, but I don't think he had a vibration. I didn't see it in the fender this time, so I'm hoping they may have got lucky and figured it out. So, but all the modifieds I thought ran, aside from that one ride, ran pretty decent. Don Dean still got a bounce problem. He actually, we got up Sunday morning, left the camp, and went over the mountain to go get breakfast at the little store down at the corner of 641 and 75. And we opened the door, and in walks Don Dean. I'm like, this man will pull anywhere, man. But he brought his tractor over to run Sunday at Hammond's Grove, which, by the way, Interstate, thank you for sticking your necks out and putting on a little pull over there Sunday. It's pretty decent. The best track I've ever seen at Hammond's Grove by far. And Don Dean still has a bounce problem, so he's going to have to work out some issues. I'm sure we'll see him again too. So, but Matt, you guys got a point schedule going on now. You want to give us a quick, brief rundown? And
Yeah, Joey has the website all updated. All 4 classes had 2 hooks now. In hot stock, Matt Siddall is right now in first place with the 47.55, and then 4 points behind him is Ray Belak with the 12.56, and then Nick Morrison with your guys' East Coast Hot Farm. He's actually in third, 6 points behind Ray, and then John Foreman is another 2 points behind, and then I'm another 2 points behind John at 82. And then it's Ray with his other one, Brad Kramer with the Fence Road Deer. Lucas is up there in 8th, and Jeff Breininger and Jeremy DeLuca finish out the top 10 in that.
Okay.
And there's 17 signed up for that class.
That's awesome. That's good. That Nick Morrison guy lives about 10 miles from me. He's one of my hometown boys here. Yep, him and Dave Daugherty and Paul Richardson. So. Yeah,
it's been pretty cool running with them guys. I knew Nick for a couple years now, since he first started, but just started to get to know Dave and Paul running with them this year. But I know Nick's tractor is always tough, and he seems to have really good luck running with our series.
Yeah, he does, and he actually against the 540 tractors at Keystone, I think it was 2 years ago, got in the finals.
Yeah,
it's amazing. I mean, that's Brad Gentry's old tractor. God rest his soul. We lost him a few years back, right after Nick bought the tractor. But it was always a tough runner down at Dragon Motorsports Series and Interstate as well. So. Yeah.
I remember Dad ran our tractor down at Keystone the first 2 years Keystone started, and we pulled against them down there. And then we didn't go to Keystone again until I think it was 3 or 4 years ago I signed it up again.
Right.
But I know that class I was talking with John Foreman Saturday night, and I told him, I said, it's going to be interesting to see, because if you have one bad night, I mean, you can almost figure you're going to be 25 points behind with that many signed up for points.
Yeah,
I know it'd be even closer. I mean, I know like House and Beachel aren't signed up.
Right.
I mean, if they were signed up, it'd mix it up even more, I think.
Yeah. Now, how does your breakdown go by position? Does it drop 2 points?
Yeah.
Okay.
We follow PPL point series rules, so I think it's the same as like what East Coast does.
Yeah, we start at 50 and come down 2.
Yeah, that's what we do.
Okay. Yeah, NTPA's really makes it tight because they drop by 1, and that can be a real headache at the end of the year. But,
yeah,
I've seen it.
Then our farm stock, we have 11 signed up for that class. Caitlin Hauck is in first with 100 points, and then DJ Boop and Steve Munrick are tied for second with 90. And then Charlie Marks and Matt Siddall are tied for fourth with 80. And then you have Ty Breininger and Quinn Ulrich, who are tied for sixth. And then you have Mason Siddall, Dan Munrick, and Ethan Peck rounding out the top 10. So that class is, I mean, there's 4 ties in it, so that one there's pretty close.
Yeah, the farm stock's a pretty good little class. And Caitlin definitely has the upper hand right now.
it'll be interesting to see what them 60-30s do once the Mason and Matt get a little more driving time. I think they're going to give her a run for their money.
Well, we'll see, but those two young fellas are definitely they're catching on. Of course, I've seen them run twice now, and this second time, they're going to get the hang of it here pretty quick. It's going to be pretty neat to see.
I think Matt had them in a pretty good gear that they could at least get down the track, and once they get some more seat time and maybe can go up a gear, then watch out.
Yeah, right. I'm sure. Yeah.
So, and I know Ethan Peck. I mean, Ethan Peck has a 4430, and it's brand new pretty much to him. So he's probably going to be figuring stuff out all year long. So,
right.
It's one of them things.
And just real quick here, I don't want to interrupt you, but anybody want to come in the live chat here, and if you got any questions for Matt about the Laurelton event, or you just want to say a simple thank you, if you're one of the pullers that had showed up, I'm sure they would appreciate it. We'd love to hear from you. Just keep it clean, ask a question, and we'll get it answered for you. We'll have him on here a few more minutes yet, and then we'll move on to our pool coming up this Friday. So go ahead, Matt, and continue.
Well, then all I have is the 2.6 smoothbore. The top 4 trucks are all separated by 8 points in that class, and it goes Brandon Fink, Kyler Zeckman, Carson Stolfer, and Colin Zeckman. So I mean that there's going to be a pretty close class. Yeah. And then our 3.0 class, we just have Tyler and Justin signed up for it. Wishing we could get a little more in there, but I'm not sure what we're going to do with that class in the future. But
yeah, that's unfortunate.
It's hard to get guys from out of the area to commit because if they can't make all the pulls, then they don't really want to commit to the series. So
sure,
which is understandable,
but there's always a chance next year that it might show some more interest. So I mean,
yeah.
If you really look at it, I mean, there's other people pulling, but you guys, I mean, you're like boom, boom, boom. You're just steady going at it, and I think it's going to say these guys are serious in the future.
Yeah.
So,
Hopefully. I mean, we have some ideas for next year, maybe to try and do something new or figure some things out. But it's something to discuss over the wintertime.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's good. But realistically, as you finished your points, I'm sorry, go ahead. I ramble on too much sometimes.
No, go ahead. I was finished.
Okay. I was just saying, okay, and what I guess either one of you could answer this question. In August, during the fair, is the fair still scheduled? I mean, is there any rising conflicts with the current country status?
I think everything's still a go. I mean, maybe if Terry has more information than I do, but...
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I got a little insight on that. Being an association member up there, did get confirmation a couple nights ago that we are going to continue to push forward with the fair as planned. I didn't attend the last meeting, so I couldn't tell you 100%. But off of what I was told it was kind of laid out to all us association members that if you don't want to show up and help with the fair due to the circumstances, you don't have to. The board of directors aren't going to hold any association member accountable for it if they don't feel comfortable coming out and helping. And I guess there was some other surrounding fairs or local organizations that have offered some help, that if we don't have enough help through our own fair members, that other associations that have help that are willing to help, they'll show up and help us if we need the help to continue to push that forward. A lot can change though in a month. I mean,
yeah, we've seen that
right now. Yeah. As of right now, the way it stands, we are still gonna go the first full week of August.
Awesome.
There will be a full week of pulling up there on the track. So, and I think you guys are up there for a couple of your point series.
Yeah, we're up there Tuesday night with the trucks, which is August 4th. And then I think we are going to be there Saturday now with both tractor classes.
Okay. Yeah, we're there on Friday night with 5 classes.
Yeah.
I think. So then Interstate's there on Thursday or Wednesday, I think. Wednesday also. Wednesday, Thursday, and Saturday night.
I'm going to have to find a cheap place to rent up here till the polling station's over with, or get the motorhome parked up there somewhere.
I forget. We've changed so much in the past couple of years up there of our schedule to try and figure out how to run different stuff. Like we used to run pedal pulls on Monday, and then trucks Tuesday, and garden tractors Wednesday, and then mini rods on Thursday, and then us on Saturday or Friday with Interstate, and then with East Coast, and then local stuff Saturday day, and then Interstate Saturday night. And we flip flop some stuff around to get some different things in. We have Interstate's small block 4-wheel drive truck class, their mini mods. One night, I think their modifieds are up there one night. But we changed stuff around so much. We used to even have ATV pulls up there on a Sunday. So a lot in the last 10 years, a lot has changed, and I kind of can't keep track of it all. But you definitely don't want to miss it. It is a good full week of track time.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. I'll have to see what happens, see what the schedule looks like. But I might sneak up. I'll definitely be there for one of them, but I might sneak up for who knows how many days. I'll have to sweet talk home here and see what I can do.
Well, you have an RV, and we have plenty of camper spots.
Okay.
Yeah, I think Brian camps there, the announcer, Brian Yeager.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, he comes in, I think, on Wednesday night or Thursday night, and then announces the remainder of the week.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
I just might have to get the time to take care of a few things with it. I might just have to do that. We'll see. Like I said, I got to do a little sweet talking first. So, well, I guess our thank yous can probably go out. I had a little conversation with Dennis Boop at the end of the pool there quick before we loaded up and left, and I guess he was kind of, I won't not say scorned, but he kind of questioned that whether he should do this or not, this event. And I sure am glad he did. And I let him know that. And, you had a good crowd as far as I'm concerned. And I know that really helped you guys out. And he was happy. I know Dennis is the fair board president there. So it's, I thought everybody did a good job. I know Lucas spent a good, and even Terry spent a good amount of time getting the track ready, and turned out really good. It was just all around. Everything fell into place, and it was a good time. And I want to thank Dennis Boop and all the fair board for sticking their necks on the line and getting this done, and you too, Lucas, for putting the track in. And we look forward to seeing you guys again real soon. That's for sure. Is there anything else you have to add there, Matt? Or
I've just, you guys need to thank them. I mean, they're the ones who do all the work and always put on a great show over there. So, and thank all the people for coming out. I mean, they had a pretty good crowd, biggest crowd I've seen at one of their summer events so far. Yeah,
absolutely. And it was a great time. And you have a pool coming up next weekend, and I know there's a possibility that it may get moved from Sealands Grove to Laurelton. And I'm sure that's not really been discussed yet, or?
Well, right now it's set we got to go to be there at Sealands Grove, so that's what we're going for.
Okay, very good. Okay.
I know the Antique Club's having their fireworks Friday night, and are expecting a pretty large crowd for that, like they usually get. So they gave us the okay to go with their pool next week. So that's what we're going to do.
If they're having fireworks, they better, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
well, that's great. Okay. Well, we appreciate you. Okay, go ahead, man, if you got anything else.
I was just going to say we're running our 4-point classes in 8500 Wild Street, and then the 85, 95 Limited Pro or Light Pro Super Farm class, and then a 10,000 Open. So should be another big night of pulling, because I know with the Buck being canceled, some of the truck guys are going to be looking for a place to go.
Oh, absolutely. I'm sure of that. So what are the classes again running next Saturday? I'm sorry.
10.5 hot stock, 13 farm stock, 8,000 2.6 smooth bore, 8,000 3.0 Limited Pro, 8,500 Wild Street, and then 85 Light Pro, 95 Super Farm, and then 10,000 Open.
Okay, wow. Yeah, it's another big night of pulling, and I'm sure you'll get plenty of numbers there too. So
start time was bumped up to 5:30. So
5:30. Okay.
I think it'll keep us busy just still to be done before midnight, but we'll do our best.
Yeah, I'm going to do my best. I'm sure Tanner for sure is going to be there.
Okay.
I'm going to do 100% do my best to get there. I'm actually kind of torn between two events here, and it's I haven't made my decision yet, but one or the other, one of us will definitely be there. So I can assure you of that. We're going to be there to cover it, and et cetera, et cetera. So
I know the wives appreciate your help, because then they don't have to film.
Well, Tanner's getting the hang of it pretty quick, so he did a really, really, really good job at Hammond's Grove, and I was pretty impressed with how quick he picked it up just within one night. So, yeah, I have no problem sending him on and letting him do it, but we'll see. There's a good chance I might be there too, so we'll see what happens.
Yeah, good deal.
Yeah, absolutely. So, with that, I guess if you're... Go ahead.
I got a question for Matt.
What's that?
Do you know what your purse is for your 3.0 trucks?
I think it is $1,000, and it pays $300 for first, and goes back, I want to say 6 or 7 spots.
Okay. Had a lot of 3.0 guys asking about your July 11th event, so
okay.
You kind of got it out on here. Any of them that are listening can give them a little, if they want to come, they can come, and to kind of just to get it out to them.
If they want to make sure, just send Joey a message and he can fill you in for sure. But I know it pays $300 for first, because it pays the same as like the hot stock for first. So, and then I think it goes back 7 spots.
Okay.
I know we changed all the payouts this year, so I'm kind of a little new at what they are.
Right.
Actually, I can pull it up here real quick and tell you for sure.
Okay.
But 3.0 is $300 for first, $200 second, $150 third, $125 fourth, $100 fifth, and $75 sixth. So.
Okay. All right, I will pass that on to the guys that have questioned it, and that's kind of what I told them before, was if they had any questions, just to contact Joey and go from there.
Yeah, he's the man with the answers.
Yeah.
When you can get him to stand still long enough.
Yeah.
That boy's always on the run.
He got himself a gator now. He don't have to walk. He can just drive.
He's watching. He'll start putting weight on. But anyway, okay. If anybody's watching, I'm watching another screen here live, and for some reason it looks like every now and then we're getting a little bit sketchy with the service there. But it started getting windy here a little while ago. I don't know if it has something to do with it or not, but it's just slow catching up to what's actually going on live. So just stick with it, folks, and you'll get to see it all. So hopefully the stream will get better. So, but Matt, if that's all you got, man, we appreciate you coming on. Really enjoyed having you here for the first time. And
yeah, thanks for having me.
Absolutely.
That's about all I got.
Okay,
so.
And good luck with Old Red, and we'll see you soon, buddy.
All righty, sounds good. Thanks, Jerry.
All right, take care, buddy. Thank you.
Yep, bye.
Terry Tanner. Terry. Let's get switched over here real quick, the East Coast, and we'll be ready to go here. So, oops, we don't want that, do we? Tell us, let's talk about Port Royal a little bit there.
Port Royal is this Friday night, and we will be running Super Stock, Pro Stock combination class, modified four-wheel drive gas, and the Super Stock, or the Pro Stock East Coast diesel pickup trucks. It's Pro Pulling League's Pro Stock pickup class, but it gets the Pro Stock or the East Coast name because Lamar Burkholder at East Coast Diesel is the main sponsor for that class. He has sponsored it. I don't know how many years he has been the main sponsor of that, but he puts really good money on. Yes, and real good money on the first, I think, 5 places, which gets them guys just shy of, I'm going to say, without it being in front of me, I can't tell you exactly, but it gets them in I think close to the $800 range for first place. It's a very, very substantial first place take home. So
yeah, he's been doing it for 4 or 5 years, I guess. Somewhere in that area.
At least.
Yeah.
At least. This is my 3rd year on East Coast, and he's been doing it for at least 7 years now, I'd say.
Okay.
I'm gonna if I was to guess on that, I'm gonna say close to 7 years, if not longer.
Okay.
Yep.
Very good. We sure do appreciate that.
Yes, that is a very, very, very tight, close class that we have, and that it's actually some of, not trying to brag or downgrade anybody, but they are some of the very best, very competitive pro stock trucks in the nation.
And they prove it year in and year out when they go to the bigger pools in Indiana with some other national caliber trucks, and they all really are that are there. And we're right there. We're right there in the top spots just about every year. So
that's what I'm looking at. I mean, I'm just going off of when they go out there to Shy Diesel and compete with them. It's nothing to get on the internet here that same night and see that 4 to 6 of them have placed in the top 10. And I mean, it's not every year, but it's a good amount of years that when they go out there, they all place. And that was like up at Laurelton on Saturday night when Norm pulled out there, and he was about 5 feet from the sand pile, and I told him just let the sled set right where it was at, because I knew that with Barter and Mans there, that they were going to be within a foot or 2 feet of him.
Mm-hmm.
Whether they were going to be a foot or 2 foot behind him or a foot or 2 foot in front of him, 9 times out of 10, from number 1 to number 10 in that class can be within 5 to 10 feet of each other.
That's correct.
When they're all running on their A game, they are very, very competitive.
When I seen Norm's run, I mean, everything was perfect. The way he left the line is the way he drives all the time. I knew it was the perfect pass for him.
Yeah.
And I was really hoping that you would leave it alone, and you did. And man, oh man.
Yep.
What a finish those 3 trucks put on. That's for sure.
I was actually back at the scales when Norm took off the line, and I didn't even see 3/4 of his run, but by the sounds of it, it was a picture perfect run. Yeah. Just by hearing the tone of it from behind the bleachers. And I got to the finish line by the time that the last quarter of his run was, and from what I seen, everything was as smooth as glass coming down through there. I mean, it couldn't have been no better on the end of the run, and when the box topped out, and so that's why I made that decision there to.
Yep.
Not that I don't want to say that my 2 cents always matters, but I put my 2 cents in there to just leave it alone, and they left it alone, and that's what Clint asked me there in the sled. He said, "How much more do we have?" And I said, "About 5-10 feet to the sand pile, if that." And he said everything felt good too. That he was going to let the sled right where it was. So
yeah, he did a hell of a job. I mean, Clint, that's the guy to have at that track. That's for sure. Because he always puts on a good show there.
Yeah,
You bet.
I'm going to let a little one out on Clint here, but he was texting headquarters throughout the night. So Brian knows that track really well inside and out too. And,
Right.
Clint makes the final call, but he did make a comment to me that he had to text Brian and Rick just to double assure himself on something, but that's here nor there. I mean, he does do an outstanding job, and if he doesn't know or doesn't have that gut feeling that something is right, he will lean back on the other two in Krause's and confirm it with them.
Sure.
So
absolutely. I mean, you have to. Never be afraid to ask questions. That's what I've always said. So on anything.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
Yep. And that was like the 10 open class up there. I goofed on that one a little bit, and I mean, you had your 2 cents in on it too.
Yeah, we both goofed.
Yeah, and that's where
I feel so bad, And I wasn't trying to take anything away from Lee Beeman when I was telling you we might be a little light, but when he came back and ran within 4 feet of his first run, I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
We'll keep that in mind for the future.
So I talked to every one of them guys. I talked to the Hoyts. I talked to Tommy Beggar. I talked to Don Dean. I talked to Henry Everman. I talked to his boy Dave. And I mean, I went over everything with them. And when he came out there, he was a test puller, and he was 30 feet. Just about 30 feet, like 25, 30 feet behind Henry Everman the night before,
right,
on the same sled setting. So when he came out there at 305 feet, kind of, we didn't have 30 feet left to the sand pile.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just learned something there for sure. Tractor really run 2 strong passes. Very impressive. So hopefully we'll see some more of him this season too. So
yeah, I think we might not see him so much on the East Coast. I'm pretty sure I'm going to take the mods down to Lincoln Speedway in the fall on October 10th. The mods have had a hook over at Bloomsburg, and that is actually the last hook that they have with us. And unfortunately, it's kind of how the season unfolded here. And
unless Frederick's a go, if Frederick doesn't cancel, they've got a hook there. But
oh yes, that is correct. If Frederick does not, they will have a hook there too. That is right.
Yeah.
Yep.
But we'll see what Frederick does. I mean, it's not them. It's just the Maryland thing. We can only hope, at this point.
Right.
And Greensboro.
Yep.
I mean, they're not at Greensboro, or are they?
No, they're not at the fall Greensboro one.
Okay, that's right. Yeah.
No, they would have been at the spring, I believe. I think our 4-wheel drive gas is at pickup trucks are at the
Yes.
Is that Greensboro in the fall?
Yeah, they're at Greensboro in the fall, and the mods are there in the spring, I believe. Yeah, because the September event has Light Pro, Mod 4x4, Hot Farm, and Limited Pro Stock semis at Greensboro.
Yes.
Yeah.
No, wait.
That's why I pulled off the website, unless something's changed.
Okay, no, wait. Let me just go to the website.
I wouldn't steer you wrong, buddy.
No, I was looking at something else here that well, it's what I was talking to you about earlier. And, yeah, Light Pro Stock tractors, modified four-wheel drive gas trucks, Hot Farm tractors, and the Light Pro Stock semis are at Greensboro in the fall.
Yep.
Yeah,
Any word out of Kempton on September 11th?
Yes, they are gonna go.
Awesome.
They're gonna have the Light Pro Stock tractors and the East Coast diesel pickup trucks. And Kevin was talking to me about maybe doing something different there. That might change weekend. We're not sure. He might bounce back a weekend or two, add more classes, make a 2-day event out of it.
Wow.
They're thinking. It's a thought process. He ran it past me down at Snyder County, back in the beginning of June there, mid-June when we were down in Snyder County.
Mm-hmm.
He ran that past me as to what all I had at Greensboro, because he was thinking about maybe changing a little bit of stuff around, and was wanting to know if he could do a 2-day there. He asked if the Light Pros were at Greensboro, because he'd like to do a 2-day or something at Kempton. And then when we left that conversation, he actually asked me what dates I had open in September, and at that time I only had 1 or 2 dates open in September, but now the Buck has canceled in September, so that weekend is also open for him. So if he wants to do a 2-day pull there, that weekend, the Buck weekend is now available. So
what a weekend that would be! A Friday and Saturday night at Kempton, then run to Frederick on Monday. Wow, that'd be awesome.
Yes. He would get a pile of iron in there.
Oh, yeah.
And yep, that would be a really good night.
Yeah, somewhat, somehow, work to not necessarily have the same classes, though it would help. If it's like a 3-day deal, I mean, even though you got a layover deal or a travel day, we'll call it a travel day on Sunday to get to Frederick. But yeah, that would be great for some of the classes. If they're at both events, that would be pretty good.
Yeah, see, Kempton was going to run the Super Pros there in June.
Right.
So I don't know if he ran the Super Pros on Saturday night, he would get a pile of Super Pros, because everybody from New York will come down and then go to Frederick on Monday. And that's what they've done in the past.
Yeah, some of them, actually will stay down and go. I know Henry Everman will do that. Yep. Who knows who else, but I can't remember. But I know several new, even modifieds. You'll have John Dugan will usually stay over too. But yeah, it's a good opportunity, if it works out that way.
Right.
See what happens.
Yep. But yeah, so we're at to go back to this, we're at Port Royal.
Yes, absolutely. Let's talk Port Royal.
Friday night. Yep. We're at Port Royal this Friday night. The pits will be open between about 1 o'clock-ish. The pit area should be open, and then spectators, the gates open for spectators at 5 o'clock, and our show starts at 7. Now, our show does not start right at 7.
Right.
I'm going to have registration closed at 6 like we normally should for a 7 o'clock start time, but Snyder County is going to be there running a pre-show from 7 till about 7:30.
Mm-hmm.
And then we're going to have our show from about 7:30. As soon as they're finished up, they're gonna have the track to start, and then once they're done, then we're once they're done, then we're gonna head out to the track and
the good thing,
with our
yeah,
show.
the good thing with the class that they're going to run there is their 10,500 pound hot stock for Snyder County points, which will feature some of our East Coast 466 hot farm tractors. So
Correct.
And some of them have signed up for points there this year for obvious reasons. They're getting more hooks, unfortunately, where we're getting some events canceled out on us due to the pandemic, if you will.
Right.
But and most notably, the three guys from right here in my area, Nick Morrison, Paul Richardson, and Dave Daugherty, and I believe Mike Moreland has also signed up for points, and that maybe they'll get some more. I mean, it is a Friday night pool, but I think we'll get a couple more there maybe to run with the Snyder County guys, and it'll be pretty cool. It's going to be a nice four class event. So.
Yep.
I'm looking forward to it. Never been there before. I've always heard a lot about Port Royal, and I know, it's that they've built a new track there and everything. I hear the facility really is pretty decent now with the new track and everything. So I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah. So I should have sent you some pictures beforehand. You could have uploaded them.
Still can.
Post them.
Still can.
Oh, you can?
Oh yeah. Absolutely.
Okay. While we're talking, I will find them then.
Oh, you mean here? I ain't that quick. I thought you meant to put online.
Okay. Okay. That's what I meant. I could have put it on. I could have sent you some pictures, and you could have put it up on the live feed.
What I can do, I can actually put them up later in the live chat feed. So.
Okay.
Anybody that watches this will be able to see them.
Yep. When we get done here, then I'll send them over to you, and then you can get to see it. But it's I was out there for an interstate pool 4 years ago, and just kind of looking around and whatnot, and there was actually a gentleman from Port Royal that contacted us. He contacted Dave Moore when Dave owned it, and our schedule was pretty full then, and I since I took this over, I talked to him, and multiple times I've talked to him, and we tried to settle on a date, but the Speedway there they didn't have a date that would work with anything that we had open, and they race a lot on Saturday nights out there, and
right.
A lot of the dates that he was giving me were just weeknights, and at that time we had a lot of weeknight pulls that was really hard to get out there during a weeknight, and so when I was talking to him about potentially getting in out there and whatnot, when he contacted us about getting us in out there, I did go out. I met that gentleman out there, and I kind of did some looking around at the grounds, and it is a very, very it's perfect. It's awesome grandstands. They're huge, just exactly what you want. The track is laid out great on the infield, right on the front stretch of the.
Awesome.
You got the front stretch of the raceway, and then the pulling track is right behind the front stretch on the infield, and the pits are up, out. Everything will be brought into the infield by towing them in or towing them out. All the vehicles, all the haulers can stay out on a nice stone parking lot.
Awesome.
Their parking lot probably can, don't quote me on this, but I'm going to say probably close to 100 haulers.
No, I'm sure.
Is
Yeah.
That's their, if it stops at that.
Yeah.
I mean, that's how big their stone lot is.
Right.
Um,
Dirt track. We all know dirt track is L number one in the state of Pennsylvania, so they definitely have some nice places. That's for sure.
yes. Yep.
So.
Yeah. So they're. I don't know, anybody that wants to make a weekend out of this or whatnot. Since we're pulling there on Friday night, they're running a big race there on Saturday.
Yes, they are.
It is open to anybody that would want to make a full weekend of it. I know it's a holiday weekend, but anybody that would want to stay Friday night into Saturday could probably stay in the area. I don't know what for camping is out there or what all they have, but.
Well, given the amount of cancellations, I mean, there's no 4th of July celebrations unless you're having your own, pretty much. I mean,
right.
It's the way it is down here. That's a great option to go pull on Friday and spend the day goofing around, doing whatever, and do some racing Saturday night. So,
yes.
Why not?
Yep. Yep. It's $15 a person to get in, and I believe children. Well, I know. Children 12 and under are free.
Okay.
So I'm not sure if there is a pit pass or not. If I was to guess, I would think there is a pit pass available, but I don't quote me on that.
Okay.
I didn't see anything on that.
Okay. Is there air conditioning there for the workers?
No, but we're taking we can start as soon as you start me a GoFundMe page, we'll get one in the trailer.
Nothing would get done. Trust me.
Oh yeah.
That's an idea though. That's an idea.
I got that little room in the front of the trailer. There's only so many of us that can fit in there, so the rest are going to have to stay out and do something.
Yes. Our little changing room, as we call it.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a plan. Yeah, we can always save up and do something for that. But, yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I always like going to a new venue. I'm looking forward to Lincoln Speedway here very soon. Actually, 2 more events there yet. That's going to be pretty nice. I did some Google Earth searching around there at Port Royal Speedway to see how the track was laid out, the pulling track and everything. Looks pretty nice. They did a pretty good job there with that, so I'm looking forward to that. I haven't looked at Lincoln yet. I don't know if I'm sure they got updated photos by now to show the pulling track.
Yeah. I'm not sure. I haven't found nothing on that just yet. Yeah, I haven't found nothing on Port Royal or on Lincoln Speedways yet for their updated pictures. I mean, I have some pictures that Lincoln Speedway sent me of what they have done, but nothing of an overall view of everything.
Okay.
I'm on Google Maps right now and gonna just kind of give a rundown of how to get into Port Royal for our haulers.
Okay.
You'll become any puller that is coming up from Harrisburg. You'll take 22-322 and stay on 22-322 from Harrisburg and towards Lewistown State College, and then you'll get off at the Port Royal exit, which is or I'm not sure what the exit number is, but it's on to Route 75.
Yeah, it's Route 75, Port Royal exit. It's clearly marked, yeah.
Yep. Yeah, it is clearly marked. Yep.
And it's south.
And
it's south of 322. Now, when you go on 75, you travel south. Mm-hmm.
Yep. Yeah, you'll come off. Yeah, I guess that would be south, wouldn't it? Yeah, because yep. So run 75 south for probably about 2 maybe 3 miles. I'm gonna say it's not over that.
Mm-hmm.
And you'll come into town. It's been a long time since I've been down there, so I might be off on my mileage there. But you'll come across the bridge. And when you go across the river or creek there, you'll be coming into town. And when you come into town, there's what is this place? Port Royal Lutheran Church, and a little cafe will be on the right side. That's 4th Street. You'll turn right onto 4th Street and take that all the way to the end. And basically, when you come to the end, you'll be in a cul-de-sac to where you have to turn left to go into the pit entrance. So take 75 south. When you come into town, it looks like when you come off the bridge, it'll be...
Yeah, it's pretty close after you get off the bridge.
Yeah, so if you count... Yeah, that loops back around and goes under 75. So when you come across the bridge, there'll be a right, and then you'll go across the train bridge, and then it's 1, 2, the 3rd Street on your right, which would be it's West 4th Street. Yep, you'll turn right onto West 4th Street at the little cafe.
Okay.
And then take that all the way to the end of the cul-de-sac and then turn left. A lot of pullers have made comment that it's tight getting in there. I don't remember how tight it really is. The only spot that I would know of it being tight would be the right-hand turn off of 75 onto West 4th. You get back into that cul-de-sac, that's pretty wide back there.
Okay.
To make that left-hand turn to go into the pits.
Most of our guys are used to it. I'm sure they'll get in there without any problems.
Yeah, I don't see it being too terrible.
Let's see. Yeah, I'm looking at it now. Yeah, it's pretty much as soon as you cross the bridge, you got to start looking for 4th Street. So,
it's only. Yeah, if you're looking there, what I'm looking at, JR, between that creek or river and the railroad tracks, there's that weird off ramp. If you don't count that one, it'll be your 3rd Street on the right.
Okay. Yeah, I see that off ramp. Okay, which is actually 1st Street. Yeah, you just start counting 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th. It's pretty simple looking at the map now. Okay.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it starts at 1st Street when you come across the river, and you want the 4th one, so 4th Street.
Yep, I didn't see that 1st Street. That's down. That's showing underneath the bridge for me.
Oh, okay. Okay. Yeah, just take the 4th.
If I zoom in further, it puts it right there at that off ramp.
Doesn't look to be too sharp down there. Of course, that's a map, and what it really is 2 different things, but that's fine.
Yeah. I've heard rumors from other people that it's tight there at 4th Street. I don't think it is, me personally, but I've never gone in there in anything other than my pickup, though, either.
Yeah.
So,
okay.
And it's like I said, it's been probably 4+ years since I've been out there.
Well, should be no problem. Looks like it's very easy to find, so that's a good thing.
Yep.
Well, it's going to be a hot one Friday, so. But we're going to have a truck and tractor pull, folks. Port Royal Speedway. I got a scroller on the screen now, Terry. I don't know, you probably can't see it, but other than I misspelled one word.
Yeah.
But there's a scroller on there with the date, the time, and the classes that are being run. So.
Okay.
But hopefully we get a good crowd for them, and they'll have us back. It's not too far of a drive for most people, and it's pretty centrally located, I think, for us. Southern Maryland boys is going to have, as usual, a little further to run, but I think it'll be a successful little event. I just hope it isn't too hot. I want people to come out. So if it's too stinking hot, you know how people hate to sweat. So, but
yeah,
I think we'll be okay. I think we'll be okay. People went out. This is perfect opportunity, and it's not that expensive really. So, and if you're out of town, you're coming from out of town, you can catch 2 shows. I mean, so catch a pulling show and some really good dirt
Right.
track racing on Saturday night. So come on out.
Yeah.
Have a good time. So what else fancy is going on with East Coast? Just day by day and praying for no more cancellations,
Just
right?
Yep, just day by day and hoping for no cancellations and I don't know, I guess another big thing I'm hoping that stops is the rumor mill. Got a phone call today by a gentleman that said that he heard that one of our pools was canceled or was told that they're not, that their class isn't going to be running there or something, and it's on the website. It's on there. So I don't know where the rumor started from when it's on there. So
Yeah,
if
every
any
year.
pullers have,
Yep. Every year. Never
Yes.
fails.
if any puller has questions of the schedule, call me or Katrina or John. I know the
Right.
schedule. I work one-on-one with all the promoters, and I relay all the information back to John. John knows as much as what I know.
Right.
Same thing with Katrina. She knows as much as what I know because she sees all the paperwork.
It's basically very simple. It's EastCoastPullersLLC.com. Okay, folks.
That's right.
If you catch what you think is a false rumor or talk, if you want to know for sure,
like
if you got the internet, EastCoastPullersLLC.com, the schedule's there. Their contact information is there. Their email is there. Their phone numbers are there. Call, email. They'll answer your questions. It's very plain and simple. Do not listen to rumors. Just because somebody says a pool is canceled, it's not true. Okay, so please keep that in mind.
The best thing is this rumor, I guess, floated around. I'm not sure what. I don't know. I didn't ask. I don't ask.
Right.
Let's put it this way. I don't ask. The gentleman called me today, said, I want to nip the rumor mill in the butt. I got a question for you. This is what I'm hearing. Is it true? I told him my answer. I didn't ask him who said it. I don't care who told him. I don't want to know.
Right.
All I know is he called me. He's the go-to person. That's who they went to. So he called me to nip it in the butt instead of it going around to other people.
Sure.
He was going to call whoever it was back and confirm it of what I relayed on to him.
Okay.
Now, on John's behalf, sometimes John doesn't know all the information, but that's not because he doesn't know it.
Right.
He works a full-time job just like I do. He doesn't have the information in front of him sometimes. He's only going by... John only knows what he knows, and that's because of what I tell him, and I don't talk to John every single day.
Right.
John and I talk once, twice, 3 times a week. When I get a little bit of information, I'll call and tell him what all I know. If he gets a little information, then he calls and lets me know what he knows.
Right.
So, yes, John might know something right now that I don't, but tomorrow or the next day, he'll call me and inform me of 2 or 3 or 4 things instead of calling every time we get off the phone with somebody.
Sure.
So if John does not know, 9 times out of 10, John, if he will call me and say, hey, I got a question. So-and-so just called me, wants to know if this is true or false. Do you have an answer? I'll call him right. That way I can call him back and let him know. And so one way or another, just call. So
Absolutely.
We'll get it out to you as the best way we can.
Yeah. I mean, you know, I would say probably 85% of the people have internet.
Yes.
Let alone social media. You have a Facebook page, East Coast Pullers LLC. You know,
Right.
My pages are always, I try to at least link to you guys some way or another, or share,
Right.
event posters or whatever you guys put out. Anybody. Just call. If you think something's not right, call. Simple as that. Yeah. Or
Right.
go online.
We
and call.
We don't have all the Facebook event pages done up because Gloria went through and she did like 8 of them, I think.
Mm-hmm.
And a week after she did 8 of them, they all got canceled.
Right.
So it takes some time to put those picture posters together and event pages together and all the information in them. It probably took her a couple of hours to sit down and do 8 events. And she did all of them. She did up to, I forget what event she did up to, but she did a good handful of them. And unfortunately, they all got deleted because they all got canceled.
Right.
So John and I had a conversation, and I just told John, I said, don't have Gloria waste her time and put all of them on just yet. Let's just wait. And about a week or 2 before the event, we'll get it fresh into all of our spectators' minds that, hey, we're going here or we're going there, or when we know, because it's not like we can do all 30 event pages right now.
Right. Sure.
And know that we're going to go.
Well, I went to the EastCoastPullersLLC.com website just before I called you guys to come on tonight's show, and it's up to date. If it's canceled, it's marked. If it's not canceled, it's not marked canceled. So, I mean, events are there, and actually there's possibly a couple more, but obviously until you are 100% sure, there's a reason you don't put it on there so people plan for it. And then it doesn't happen, then you look like the stooge, if you will, for lack of better words. You know what I mean? So there's a potential for a couple more yet that's not on the schedule. Not going to talk about it because it's not etched in stone yet. But
it is on our schedule. They're on our schedule that we mailed out to our pullers.
Yes.
Of to be announced or to be determined.
Correct. I'm just talking about the general public, I mean, everybody wants to know, they want to make plans to come, but if you put a show on, let me just give an example. If you put a show on the schedule, okay, and it gets canceled, and nobody knows about it, and they show up there, who are they mad at? They're mad at East Coast Pullers or whatever, and because you just can't. People got to understand. The schedule is always tentative, okay? Is a good word to use for that. But the pullers, the pullers obviously will be up to date all the time. But
yes, just like the Port Royal this Friday night was not publicized until last week.
Right.
The pullers knew about it for close to going on a month. Close to. I'm not going to say it was over a month, but it was close to a month. But the gentleman from Port Royal called me, asked me if we would be interested in doing a show there, if I could squeeze it together as points, whatnot. I made the phone calls at that point to our pullers, got the pullers figured out that we would have a fair number in attendance in pullers, and then let the promoter know, the contact from Port Royal, that yes, we can have this, and this, and this, and this is who we're going to get, the whole 9 yards. And when he went back to figure out that, okay, now I can do the event, we can put this plan in motion, and really it come down to the last minute here of trying to get this sealed away, but it's just because this guy just went ahead and got the grounds, got the track help, got the sled squared away. All the background work was done in less than a month for Port Royal.
Yeah. And I'm sure we should probably give him a big thank you now, I would think, for doing the legwork to make this thing happen.
Yes. Yeah. If it want, that's pretty well known out in that area. It's Chad Packer with Packer's Concessions.
Right.
He is actually the contact for the Center Hall Grange Fair.
Mm-hmm.
And with the Center Hall Grange Fair getting canceled, he's such a supporter in the pulling industry that he felt an obligation that he wanted to do something in that area for the spectator base and for the puller base that come and supported them through the Center Hall Fair for all these years.
Sure.
And so he was trying to put something in his own backyard again, even though the Grange Fair isn't going to operate this year. So.
Right. Yeah, so keep that in mind, folks. If you come out this Friday, Packers Concessions, I'm sure will be there, and they have good food, and their stands are always spotless clean. So, and we want to thank you, Chad. Thank you, Chad.
Yeah, Chad, I don't know what all for stands he'll have there outside the gate. I'm sure he'll have some. That's a given.
He better, because I'm going to be hungry.
Well, so they have a block building, or they have a concession stand building on the infield.
Okay.
And Packers leases that or owns that building or something, but he doesn't only have traveling concession stands that he takes around to local events. He has that building all year.
Okay.
From my understandings, he has that building all year in the Port Royal infield.
Right.
So
that's good.
Yep. I don't know how it works to get in there, to get to him there. I'm sure he'll have concessions on the other side.
I'm sure.
But I know that I'm pretty sure that building is right at the end of the tunnel too. So I don't know if people will be allowed to come under the tunnel to get to him in there, or if he'll have stands outside over at the other side. But I'm sure he's got that all figured out.
I'm sure.
Yep.
Yeah, that's great. I'm glad he put this together and made this thing happen, and I guess somewhat took the place of Center Hall. I mean, not all the classes, but we got us another place to go pulling, so that's good.
Yep, that is correct.
Yeah. So, okay. Well, we're approaching an hour and 20 minutes, folks, so but Terry, if you've got anything else you want to add, I'll go ahead and give you the floor now, or we can get ready to wrap her up, whatever you... If you got something else to let us know about, the floor is yours.
No, I think we're pretty much good here. I mean, we got Port Royal this coming weekend, and then we have nothing. We have nothing until July 25th at Lincoln Speedway.
Right, correct.
Yep.
Okay. Yeah.
Yep,
and,
that is.
I've seen Listy's on the schedule now, right? Am I incorrect? I thought I saw Listy on there. Are we still?
Yes, that was brought to my attention there. So what I did was that was a goof on my behalf. I put a postpone or a reschedule on Listy's. So the way our website works is everything you see on our schedule, as it goes down through. Like right now, it says Port Royal's our next event, and Shippensburg's 2 days, and then Boonesboro and Mason-Dixon and Tuckahoe and La Plata, and so on and so forth. And so what I did was I put, so that would scroll on the home page, that date that's on that. So like right now, if we're looking at Port Royal Speedway for July 3rd at 7 p.m., that will stay on the home page until 7 p.m. on this Friday.
The day of, right. Mm-hmm.
The day, yep. And then at that point, see, Shippensburg is the same time, is the same day. So they will alternate back and forth when they play on the home screen. But at 7 p.m. on Friday, it'll automatically kick itself over to July 4th at 7 p.m. for Shippensburg.
But it is marked canceled. So.
It is marked canceled, right. Correct.
Right.
So what I did for Listy was I put a note in how it's in yellow. I put a note on there that it was postponed until August 1st. That way, when that scrolled on our homepage for coming up for the first week in June, or the second weekend of June, June 12th it was. It would play that whole week up until June 12th. Well, when we hit 7 p.m. on June 12th, it went off the schedule. And I did not update it to the August 1st because I put a postpone on it and forgot, and the website kicked it out, and I didn't catch it in time.
Right.
So it was on the schedule, marked as postponed till August 1st, but when we come up to June 12th, the website kicked it off the home page, and then you can't see it no more.
Right.
So I updated that, and it is back on the schedule. That was never canceled. I postponed it and did not catch it. So.
Okay. No problem. It's there. I mean, people can see it. So if they go to the schedule page, which is what most are going to do anyway, they're going to go look and see what's canceled, what's available, and make their plans from there.
Yep.
So, but just please, for goodness sakes, I hate to hear rumors start over events being canceled. You know, all that does is create turmoil and takes people away from the stands for the promoter. And for goodness sakes, people, don't listen to rumors. Go to where the information really is. I mean, I wish there was some way we could, you know, if you don't have the internet, unfortunately, ask somebody that does. And it only takes a few minutes to look it up and call somebody if you're not sure, and you'll get your question answered. So, just
yeah. So if you go to our website, and if you go to the contact us, you will see, or it's at the top. It says director and my name, and then co-director and John Smith's name, and then event and entry and event coordinator. That's Katrina. Any one of them three numbers will be able to answer any questions on the scheduling.
Yep. Absolutely.
And
that's what you need to do.
All three of us work full-time jobs. Who knows what John does?
Yep.
Some days John's in a truck, some days John's in a piece of machinery, from cutting and falling trees to in a dozer or a loader.
I can assure you, and I know you run all day too, and I talk to John Smith during the week. He's usually in a piece of equipment, so he's just as busy as anybody. So, yep.
Yes, yep. So I have my phone on me all day long. I drive truck, so I can answer my phone all day long. Now, if I'm out of my truck, I can't answer my phone if I don't have it in my pocket. 9 times out of 10, I let my phone in my truck. John's the same way. 9 times out of 10, he lets his phone in his piece of equipment. Katrina, she works at a vet hospital. Sometimes she goes in noon till 8. Sometimes she goes in at 6:30 in the morning till 2:30 in the afternoon. So she's hit and miss, but just a lot of voicemail.
Right.
Text us. They're all three of them are cell phone numbers, even a text message.
Right. Sure. Or keep it simple. Just call in the evening. You know, after 6 p.m. or something would be probably the best thing to do. Or send an email. They all check their emails, I'm sure. You don't necessarily have to telephone anybody, but an email works too. So.
Yeah, and the email. Let me just look here. In my email, John's is on there, and if you email that East Coast Pullers LLC at Outlook.com, that is Katrina's email, but it's also linked to my phone as well. Her and I both can read that email that's on there. That's basically her email for East Coast with, setting up like our banquet and stuff like that. That's the email that she uses for that, and going back and forth with Pro Pulling League. But I do have that account on my phone also. So if somebody emails that one, there's two of us that look at it on a regular basis.
Okay.
So.
And if all else fails and you're on Facebook or something,
just shoot a message on Facebook.
There, my page and East Coast Pullers LLC. Can't even think of my own page. Eastern Extreme Pulling or Eastern Extreme Pulling videos and photos. I'll gladly pass it along to them, or I'll properly answer it if I can, or I'll get the answer and give it to you. So we'll all work
Yeah,
together and
'cause
we'll get your questions answered. So
yeah, you know just about as much as what we all
some
know
days,
too.
some days.
Yeah.
But yeah, and it's looking forward to Friday, and let's. I guess we'll probably get ready to wrap this up. It's getting late on us here, and do you
Yeah.
just, if that's all you have on your mind, anything else you have, or
No, I don't think so.
okay, okay, you just hang on the line. I'll get with you after we get closed up here, and folks, appreciate you tuning in tonight. It's holiday weekend. It's going to be a great pool Friday night. It's the first time for East Coast pullers to be at the Port Royal Speedway, and we look forward to seeing everybody there. It's going to be warm, but there'll be plenty of refreshments. And plus, they'll also have a big race there Saturday night. So if you're out of town, you want to come in for the weekend, that's an option for you to see a good pool Friday night and a good racing on Saturday. So everybody have a good 4th of July, a safe 4th of July, and subscribe, ring the bell for notifications, and share our page here, Eat Pulling Videos, and give us a thumbs up. We really appreciate it. We appreciate you tuning in, and we were a day late this week. Hopefully next week we'll be back on schedule. We'll see you Tuesday night at 8 p.m. with a recap and see what else we can dig up and go pulling. So we got plenty of pulls lined up coming up here every weekend. So we're very fortunate, and we'll be with you next week at 8 p.m. Thanks.